everyone. It's a beautiful day. Haven't gone live in a really long time. Not really feeling the whole community lately. There's been a handful of people. It's really only about 4 people who've been relentlessly trying to sling mud on me and some of my friends. I don't really care about any of that. It's not a popularity contest. Like, I don't really mind if all of you think that I'm some sort of a scam artist. That's fine by me. I mean, honestly, me and Joel last year in November, we set out to do something that I feel was very important, and that was to stand up to the Watchtower with as many XJWs as possible, to make a stand in their own backyard, knock on their own front door, and tell them, this stuff has got to stop. And I think it went pretty well. It blew away, easily it blew away everyone's expectations, including my own. The reason I'm making this video, though, is not to talk about that, but to talk about a distinction that really needs to be made about the vast apostate army. Guys, we are not an organization, okay? We are hundreds of people who are all acting completely independently, and we are using the title as a way of showing that there are many of us, there's solidarity there, we all have the same basic goals, and that is to shed light on the Watchtower, to confront them, to let them know that they cannot go on business as usual without there being some resistance. So literally any XJW who feels the same way is a member of the vast apostate army. We do not consult each other when we decide to do something, whether it be activism, whether it be a GoFundMe, whether it be a new protest, whether it be promises of t-shirts or CDs. The protest that's happening in London right now is completely independent of me and Joel. We have absolutely nothing to do with that. So if there are some of you out there who feel that me and Joel are just shitty people that failed to live up to your expectations in some way, it's really unfair for you to carry that sense of ill will towards the people who are running the Vast Apostate Army website currently, and the people who are putting together the VAA protest in London. In fact, honestly, Luis and Neil, the ones who are primarily doing the protest in London, they don't even, I've not really seen them even carry the banner of the Vast Apostate Army. So if something me and Joel did upset you and you're angry at, you're like boycotting the next protest because of us, it really just makes no sense, because we have nothing to do with it whatsoever. Now, I will be attending the London protest, and I have been showing support for those guys, and I've been trying to direct people to their GoFundMe, because this stuff is important, and it goes better when they're able to raise funds. I mean, look at everything me and Joel was able to accomplish in Warwick last year because of the GoFundMe. Joel came to me with the idea of the GoFundMe, I want to say like 3 or 4 months prior to Warwick, and I was nervous about it, because I realized that ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, we all have a very sharp sense of justice, and we all demand, I don't know, we all demand a certain level of accountability to anyone who receives money or collects money. But it helped. We couldn't have done it without it. I personally did not have access to the GoFundMe, but it certainly helped. I know for a fact, just from a few things that Joel has told me, that the GoFundMe was essential. And I'm sorry if something I promised didn't come to pass, or if something Joel promised didn't come to pass, but I know that we're both actively trying to make good on whatever promises were made. But yeah, just keep in mind that we're all separate entities, and we just also happen to have the same ideals, and that's why we call ourselves the vast apostate army. So when you see Trisha or Melissa working on the new website, and they've got all these awesome shirts that they're selling for VAA apparel, when you see them doing that, there's literally no reason to be angry at them for something me and Joel did. Because as I've said countless times, they're completely different people, doing completely different things, and I've just been supporting it because they're my friends, and that's what friends do. So yeah, I hope this clears up the whole idea about, now there's all kinds of other things going on, like all kinds of rumors and hearsay about stuff that happened, you know. A lot of it honestly is news to me, like within the last couple months, and I really don't know how to feel about it because I didn't actually see it myself, and I know that there's a lot of gossip in the XJW community, and until I can confirm that in some way, it's hard for me to speak about it. But yeah, just take things you hear with a grain of salt, because for whatever reason, when you put yourself out there, when you become somewhat of a public figure and you actually try to do things and stir things up, you're gonna there's a lot of whispering and gossiping and shit being thrown right now, and it's like, I don't know. You'd have to do something really, really crappy for me to blast you publicly. Like, I think there's only one activist that I have publicly talked crap about and made videos about and stuff. And I think you all know who that is. And that's because of the laundry list of things that this individual has done over the years to really be a piece of garbage and take advantage of people. But I don't even want to talk about that person anymore. I really don't. Like, you know, I'll make a JW video once in a while, but and I'll be at the protest in London because I have good friends over there, and I'd like to show support and make a really badass video for those guys to cover the whole event as best I can. But you know, as far as the rest of it goes, like, you know, I just don't have the energy for this stuff anymore, and I have other interests that I'm looking to pursue as far as video content goes. And I've spoken about it before. I want to talk about science, art, philosophy, psychedelics, spirituality, you know, everything else that matters in life other than I'm an angry XJW, you know. So guys, I hope you appreciated this video or understand where I'm coming from. So yeah, and I even turned off the comments for this live stream because I already know that there's at least 4 people that are just waiting to spam the comment section with, "Oh, Parker, you didn't do this. Accountability, accountability. Where's this?" And you know what? I got no time for that. I really don't. If you are one of the few who feel like genuinely that I failed on some promise that was made, contact me directly. My email address is breathingfantasy@gmail.com. Apostate CDs, that was my thing. All the rest was other people, and as I said before, we are separate entities. So like, if I promise CDs, you shouldn't go to like Joel and be like, "Where's my CD?" That was not his thing. And vice versa. If Joel promised shirts and you didn't get a shirt, don't come to me and be like, "Where's my shirt?" Separate entity, okay? And the whole thing with the Apostate Mix is, and I've already made a video, I made the Apostate Mix available to download instead of sending out CDs, because quite honestly, neither me or Joel were prepared for the huge response to the call to action that we got last year. You know, and when it came down to sending out 50 or 60 CDs or whatever, I'm just not in a place in my life where I can even mentally wrap my head around being able to do that. Like, there's just no way. I've got so much in my personal life going on, you know. And maybe I shouldn't have tackled something as huge as Warwick, given the fact that I have, you know, so many stresses in my personal life. But I felt that it needed to happen so bad that, you know, we all had to jump. You know, we all had to jump on it. And just imagine had we not, you know. Imagine if me and Joel were just like, no, we got too much going on. It's too much stress. Imagine if we would have done that. Warwick wouldn't have happened. The W5 CTV special, the documentary, the beautiful one that Avery Haynes put together, it wouldn't have any of the VAA in it. It wouldn't have had the protests at Warwick. It would have been half as long, easily. And it would have just had the same old things in it that we've seen for years now. Interviews of XJWs talking about, you know, how terrible it is. And I'm not trying to underplay that. That's important. But to me and Joel felt like it was time somebody did something different. And I don't regret it, and I do it all again the exact same way. So, all right, and yeah, let's see, what else was there? Yeah, and I also, in the video where I made the Apostate mix available to download, it's still up, and you can look at it. I made an apology then, and I apologize again now that, yeah, I had every intention. I bought the CDs and the sleeves, and I burned several. I burned probably 24, and I gave out a crap ton of them at Warwick to people who showed up. Anyone who was there will remember. But yeah, I apologize for not sending, you know, those out, and I don't know how quickly I'll be able to get you one if you email me, but I will try my best to get to it eventually, because, like I said, my personal life right now is just impossible. So yeah, guys, I love you all. Well, once again, I'll retract that. I don't love you all. There's a few of you that can go take a hike, but most of you are all right and have supported us and haven't gotten immediately upset when your expectations weren't 100% met, and I really appreciate that. And like I said, whatever your thoughts are on me, on Joel, because I get it, we're just a couple assholes, whatever. But you know what? All of us are. You know, we're all assholes, and anyone who says they're not, I'm gonna call you out on it. You know, we did the best we could, and I think it went phenomenally. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot, and thanks for the support. And don't take anything me or Joel did out on the new guys, okay? Because the VAA is kind of like football, you know? Somebody carries it for a while, passes it to somebody else. Sometimes it gets fumbled, and then somebody else grabs it and runs with it, you know? And that's how it should be, you know? There's no one. I'm not an elder. I'm not a leader, you know? We decided to do something, and people followed us. But at no point do I think for a second that either me or Joel were leaders. Honestly, the moment people joined us, it wasn't even that they were following us. They were bringing their own unique flair and skill set to anything that we did. And so we were all just a bunch of leaders independently doing our own thing. And I think it was beautiful. There's a lot of people talking right now about how it wasn't beautiful and how it was this and it was that and it was terrible and all this happened, and, you know, whatever. There's no way that we could have vetted every single person from coming to the protest. We wanted as many XJWs there as possible. And, you know, as much as we would like to talk to every single individual beforehand and be like, you know, get a feel for where their brain's at. You never really know what someone's gonna do or how they really think. We had people trying to sabotage Warwick. We had phone calls being made to the police, lying about the event. We had so many things going on, and I was doing conference calls with law enforcement in the parks in Warwick, trying to do damage control for all these negative people who didn't want it to happen and who were upset that either, I don't know, they couldn't be a part of it, or they are just jealous or something. I don't know. But a lot of work went into it, more than I think any of you are really aware of. I mean, I'm not, you know, it's whatever. I wanted to do it. I really had a passion for it back then, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know, it was the most amazing experience and the greatest thing I've ever been a part of. And I thank everyone who supported it and made it happen. And you can all look back on either my movie that I made about it or the W5 special and be proud that you supported it. And anyways, that's all I have to say. Thanks, guys. Faithful Slave. I'm out of here.